got you under my skin. I've got you deep in the heart of me. So deep in my heart that you're really a part of me. Yes, I've got you under my skin. I've tried so not to give in. I said to myself, this affair ain't never gonna go too well. But why should I try to resist when, baby, I know too well that I've got you under my skin. I'd sacrifice anything come what might for the sake of having you near, in spite of a warning voice that rings in the nights, repeats and repeats in my ear. Don't you know, little fool, you ain't never gonna win. Use your mentality.
TV station, Channel
Wake up to
17,
reality.
and they had big band there.
Oh wait,
We were
first
a small group.
first give a little background. Like how do you come to become a musician where you're playing on TV in a time when that wasn't a real thing for a lot of people? I mean, your
Yeah.
mom and papa, your mom and dad came here from Italy and just opened a store, which is pretty remarkable.
My dad and my mom's from here.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I don't think I knew that.
didn't you?
No, so he came here and met her.
Yeah. Yeah. She lived on a farm. Chico farm.
A what?
Chico. Chico's a name.
Oh, okay.
Her brother Chico. And he met her and went out with her and they got married.
How quick?
Maybe 8-9 months.
Wow.
Yeah. And I don't know
So
how
this is
he
in
ever...
what year? Do you know?
28, say 1928.
So 1928, he shows up here and opens a store. And
Well, after they got married.
okay,
And he might have opened it up in 30, maybe.
he meets your mom. I had no idea she didn't come with him. Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. I have all this information.
Well, like what a badass he must have been to just, I imagine, get on a boat, not knowing the language, and just show up.
In them days, a boat trip was nothing to be excited about. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Very dangerous, I would say. And I think he did tell me how many days were on the boat. It was 15 days or 13 days, somewhere around there. And he's...
15 days.
Yeah, I think so. And he is registered on Ellis Island, is it?
Yeah.
Where they docked. He's on the list, and I had it. Me and Mike did it one day, and I don't know where the hell I put it. But his name's on there. What the name of the boat was, and you know his history. They have it and recorded in there.
Yeah.
In the book. Yeah.
He just came by himself?
Well, friends. He knew a couple of buddies. They all came together.
And he's like 20 or something?
I think he was 21, 22.
Wow.
Somewhere around there.
Okay,
Yeah.
so go ahead. So your dad shows up.
And I don't know how he got to know Mom, you know what I mean? I don't know how he got involved with her. But she lived on a farm. 5 girls, 1 boy, brother. And that's where she grew up and raised, and then she went to work in the silk mill in Phoenixville, and let's see. She would tell me that she used to have to mind the cows outside in the cold weather, and didn't have much to eat, and it was a tough life for them.
Man.
You know, my grandmother had, I think, 13 kids,
Jesus.
and she would, like, when it was time to have the baby, she'd go in her room, lock the door by herself, have the baby, come out, and then she was in the field that afternoon.
Holy Christ.
Yeah. And she had one baby that wouldn't come out. And the story goes that she got a milk bottle and kept, like, blowing in the milk bottle till finally she came out. But from going in and out, her head was shaped like a cone at the top. So she, like, had the head and molded it so it was round again, wrapped a bandage around it, and she lived to be like 94.
Wait, the baby with the cone head lived to be 94?
Yeah. Well, she molded it so it was round again.
Oh,
You know.
God.
Wrapped the bandage around it so it would stay like that, I guess. And she lived perfectly fine.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
That's insane.
They were like, and they ate the worst food. I used to go in the kitchen, there would be these iron skillets, heavy things, like with pieces of homemade sausage in it, with the fat congealed from being in the cold, you know what I mean?
Ugh.
That's what they ate, shit like that. Another favorite
it's like
was,
Eskimos, It made them tough, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. Oh, man.
So,
Of course, yeah.
so your mom and dad have you and John, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And this is what year?
Me, 31. John was 4 years later, 35.
And they have the store at this point?
Oh, yeah.
And this is a pretty neighborhood store, but it's pretty successful, I guess?
Oh, it was during the war. And we were probably the top store in the area. We had our own slaughterhouse, my uncle's farm. They built a slaughterhouse, killed their own beef. And it was crowded all the time. Saturdays, it was packed. It wasn't a big store, but it was well known. He used to give a hamburger to the Val Rio diner, make it for him, and steaks. And it was a private, no, it wasn't private, but it was a restaurant in Phoenixville that he used to serve filet mignon to the lady that had it. So he was, well known. And we sold a lot of stuff. Oh, Christ.
Like a grocery store or just meats?
Yeah, no, everything.
And what was it called?
Fruit. Sam's Market.
Sam's Market in Norristown or Phoenixville?
Phoenixville.
Okay.
Phoenixville. I and Marshall.
And
Credit.
hold on one sec. Hey. Could you? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks. Okay, so then how long was that open and you worked there too, right?
Uh-huh. Every day after school, 3 o'clock, I used to walk across the bridge in Phoenixville, coming home from school. That was almost a mile. I used to go.
Uphill both ways?
No, it was the big bridge. It was the big bridge in Phoenixville. You've seen that. And I used to walk across to go to school, walk back for lunch, walk back again, and then come back home. Right after I got home, I had to be home. I couldn't fool around. I had to go into the store and help my dad.
So how do you find time to learn music?
Well, and then it was also another thing I had to do, practice. You know, I started on violin. It
Oh wow,
sucked.
really? It
Yeah,
sucked.
it sucked. Yeah, I had a good teacher. He was an alcoholic, but he was a good, if it wasn't for the alcohol, he would have been terrific. But, yeah, I didn't like the violin. Played a couple, not concerts, but what do you call that?
Recital.
Yeah, a couple of those. I didn't like it.
So you
Came home.
decided to switch to accordion?
Well, I told my dad, I says, I don't like this, I don't want to play it no more. He says, well, if you don't want to play that, he says, you got to pick something else. Or you ain't stopping the violin. Well, I would have played anything, just to get away from the violin. So we happened to go somewhere on a Sunday, and I saw the accordion. I said, that's what I want. That's what we got an accordion. I had some doozy of a teacher, cigarette hanging out of her mouth. It looked like she was an alkie too. But that's how I started, yeah.
And you took to it right away?
Yeah, evidently.
The principles were similar, that you could apply violin, or no? It was just a whole new animal?
No,
No?
no. Violin was strictly melody.
Hi,
Look who's here. Come over here so you can see your
Matt.
face. Come on over here so you can see your face.
Hello there.
Hello, dear. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Fine. How is everybody? I guess you're at work now?
Well,
He's at home.
no, I'm at home working on this project. I got to go to work after I'm
Okay.
finished here. But taking a little break from work to do what I have come to realize I really like,
Yeah,
which is not work.
there you go. That's good.
But
Okay.
yeah, how are you guys
So-
doing? What's going on?
Not much. We're getting some help as far as pills and medications go from the county, which is helping out a lot.
Yeah, and Frank
And,
was hooking you up too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. He came over one day. One of the person came over to see us.
Yeah.
It was a big help.
Well, that's good.
Where you going? Okay.
I'm going.
Yeah, he was a big help. And he calls me to see how things are going.
That's good.
Yeah, he was great. Yeah. And he got a new electric car. I guess you know that, don't you?
Yeah, did you see it?
No, he's going to bring it over, Mike said.
Yeah.
85,000. 85,000?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyhow,
All right. So you take to it pretty
Getting
quickly.
back- yes, I really liked it.
And
I think it was the fact also I liked it was that I got rid of that other thing.
yeah. And you're how old at this point?
Probably 10 and a half or 11.
When you start with the accordion.
Yeah.
And how long until you realize you want to just go start playing? How long till you can go, like, get paid to play?
I think I played, my first job was a New Year's Eve at the one of the clubs in Phoenixville. They were looking for a band, and a friend that I knew that played guitar says, come on, he says, they want a band down there. I said, what the hell, I never. Yeah, he said, come on. I did. We played the New Year's Eve there. That was the first job I ever played.
And this is, you're singing and playing piano? Did you know you could sing
No,
already?
No, just playing. Yep.
It was just background music for New Year's Eve, or?
Well, we were playing songs, like for people to dance.
And so,
The Orioles.
oh, okay. So then This is what age when you play your first show like that?
About 12.
Oh, so it wasn't long.
Yeah. So I had somebody gave me a fake book. It was, at that time, I think the guy told me it was like $35.
Uh-huh.
But had all these, standard tunes. And that's what I would play on my own,
Yeah.
other than my left. And I got to know pretty nearly all the standards at a young age, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And from me playing a couple of jobs with other bands, because they heard that I knew those tunes, which was important to the band, you know what I mean?
Right.
That you know the standards. Well, I was starting to play very early
Yeah.
with bands, and because I knew the standards, everybody was starting to hear that I did. They would hire me, which was good.
So you're getting to go to high school, and you're still playing shows then, probably pretty regularly, right, through high school?
Yep. Yeah, I would be falling asleep in class every day because I had a Spanish class, and the teacher said, Sam, I used to play jobs for him. Like he'd go have a speech or some kind of thing they had, He said, would you play for me at the thing? Yeah, okay. Carrying my accordion, because the accordion was bigger than me. And he'd say, when we were going home, he'd say, it's all right, Sam, if you want to fall asleep tomorrow morning, it's okay.
So you were you knew pretty much that was what you were going to do, at that point?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep.
So then you start playing regularly after high school, and you put together a band then?
Yeah, I was playing pretty regular before the end of high school. You know what I mean? I was playing a lot of music then. I was walking around with maybe $700 in my pocket all the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is in the 40s?
Yep. Because I graduated in 49. So I'd say that was around 47. I was playing a couple of TV shows. One was called Stump the Artist. Broza was the kids show for Horn and Hard Art. Lee Broza, I think was his name. Played that show. Played the Hayloft Hoedown, which was a steady thing, Western. They had all, the Western talents. And then one of my steadiest jobs was with Uncle Jack and Mary Lou, country and Western. And that was in Wilmersdorf, Pennsylvania, near Reading. We played on the radio, WEEU, every day, Monday through Friday, for an hour. And the band consisted of 6 people. It was Uncle Jack, and Mary Lou was his wife. What a bitch she was. But they had Sunday at their park. They had this park in Wilmersdorf, and they had all the top country and Western talents. They had one of the biggest pricks was Eddie Arnold. What a voice, though. He had a beautiful voice. Worst rug, too. He always wore a rug. It was terrible. But people would go up, hand him a request. He'd crumple it up in his hand and throw it on the floor. That was the kind of guy. Then he'd go in his dressing room, never come out and say hello to anybody. And the majority of those people used to come in with suitcases full of vodka. They'd drink it straight out of the bottle. I don't know how the hell they stood up. What was that girl's name with the tag hanging off her hat?
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't remember her name.
Look.
Hee-haw?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Anyhow, she was. Oh, I don't know how they stood up. That's how much they drank. No shit.
So
I could drink when I was playing it 6 nights a week, I used to drink a combination of Galliano. These are all at once. Heineken beer and gin and tonic.
In one
All
glass?
three together. No.
Just three separate
Three,
drinks?
I'd have 3 separate glasses there, yeah. And then
It's like
occasionally,
a flavor smorgasbord?
yeah. Then a couple of times there was a guy who used to come in and love champagne. So did I. We'd get a split. We'd share buying them, like, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, that was that good.
So how do you, I know we're jumping in time here, but these are little lapses in the stories I remember. So you end up with playing with Bill Haley?
Yeah, down in Chester.
At what time and what year is that now?
I see. Well, let's see. It had to be well, I graduated in 49, so say 52.
Okay.
It was me, Slim Alsman, guitar player, and Bill Haley. He was also a prick.
And this was not the Comets though, right? This was
No, and they were getting ready to form that group. And, he said to me, we're going to go on the road, saying, you want to go with us? I said, nah, because I couldn't stand him 7 days a week or whatever it was. And he had that spitty curl hanging on the front of his head, you know. I didn't like him. I didn't. He paid good money, that's all. And it was a lousy bar we were playing on. I can't remember. It was Lou's Bar was the name of it. Bottles would always be flying. You'd have to watch and duck, the glasses. Jesus, God. Always fights. And this guy, who was the guitar player, had a guitar of Bill Haley. Saw that after he died, he bought this guitar. It was worth $55,000, he said.
wow.
So he died too, about a year ago. So I don't know who got the guitar. But
So
anyhow.
is he noodling around? Are you playing like Rock Around the Clock, his hit songs already, or are you just playing
That kind
standards?
of shit. Yeah, no. Oh no standards. They didn't want to do that. It was a hillbilly motif. They all liked Western shit.
Yeah. And you're still are you singing yet at this point?
No.
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 So when did you decide you were gonna sing?
That was Silent Sam. When did I decide?
When do you become
Well,
Sammy Dee? When does Sammy Dee get created?
when I started to play solo, which was like the biggest one I remember was Holiday Inn up in New Hope. That started playing solo. And to break it up, instead of just playing songs, I decided to sing a couple things. And that became, I got better and better at it. And that's how it became Sammy Dee. The sign out in the lobby with my picture. That was, and I really liked it because I was making good money,
Yeah.
At top, like at Montgomery Inn, I was making $6 a week.
Yeah.
Tax free, and week vacation.
Huh.
So I was making good money. And when I had my group then, also, Chuck Fulmer, sax sometimes, and Andy Hamadeh, different guys, Ray Cummings, sax.
And you play with
No.
Jaco Pastorius at some point too?
No.
His dad or somebody related to him, right? Didn't you play with?
Jocko?
Yeah.
No, I never did. But like I was starting to tell you, we were playing a job for Channel 17, and it wasn't that we were on TV. We were playing for the people that operated the station, and there were notaries coming in to, congratulate them all. Some of them were started with Sammy Davis Jr., Margaret Whiting. When I saw Margaret Whiting come in the door, I knew her. Just from how I had records of her.
Right.
And her favorite song made a big hit was "A Tree in the Meadow." So I saw her walk through the door. I said, "Oh!" I told the guys, "Play this." And we started playing. She right away looked up at the bandstand. She comes running up. She comes over to me, climbs up on the stage, kisses me on the cheek. She says, "You're too young to know that song."
That's awesome.
Yeah, so Sammy Davis came in, but he didn't come up and sing or anything. He was with a group of 6 or 7 guys, and like I said, I met all the Western guys. I mean, all of them.
So how long and so you're now at this point we're into the mid 50s, right? So you have
Yeah.
you have a couple kids, and this is not a regular existence in that time.
No, I was fortunate though. I was getting good money and enough to keep going, and I also was working at Burroughs and doing well there and getting to be foreman and making a good buck there. But I never stopped playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As bad as it was to get up the next day, I still rather play than work.
Yeah.
But I did well at whatever else I did.
Right.
So
It's interesting because that's, I somehow subconsciously absorbed a lot of that.
yeah.
Even though it happened before. I mean, because that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, actually,
You know.
that's what you're doing.
And
Yeah.
it's strange the way that something has to be genetic in a lot of that kind of stuff, the way your brain is wired or whatever, because I recently sort of re-met John, Frank's son, and Courtney, who is Ginny's kid, and
Yeah.
she's only 22. I probably only met her 5, maybe a dozen times when she was a little kid.
Yeah.
I had I didn't know her at all. And,
Yeah.
and she came out to visit, and we spent a week together, and it was as if we shared a brain.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty remarkable. So it's interesting to me that kind of, I'm going to do this job because I have to do it, but I want to do the other stuff.
I understand.
And you just, I remember that you didn't, that, you came in late a lot, and had weird hours, and that was a real benefit to me, especially in the summers. I mean, tell me about that. Like, if you want to fast forward to, like, you're still playing that I recall, and that's in the 70s, and I want to hear about making the record, too.
That's a beauty, making the record.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I was fine till that day, and I started getting congested in my nose and sinus and all, like I was getting a cold. I said, "Oh, jeez," So I know that chiropractors can sort of alleviate that, and they put like a hot pad or something on your head to declog you. And it helped for a while, but after on the way down, like I could feel it clogging up again, I had cough drops, cough medicine, all kinds of shit, lozenges. But we get down there, and it was the guy, he used to be an announcer on KYW. I can't remember his name, but he went into that business. And we go down and make the record. And they set us up. We're not close to each other at all, but the earphones are not working. So we had to do this record if we wanted to do it that day. Just by sound from the other person, which was maybe 5-6 feet away,
Right.
which is not ideal. So with me with the cold, and you can't really tell that on the record, but I'm like coughing and hacking between the songs and all. Oh Christ! But it didn't turn out bad.
And this was straight pressed to vinyl, or did you record tape?
No, right to vinyl.
So you got one take, basically.
Yep. Yeah.
And this was paid for out of your pocket? You just decided
No.
to do it?
No. I was playing in New Hope, and two guys come in one night and said to me, came over and bought me a drink. Said, "Hey, we'd like to make a record with you." I told them, I said, "Yeah. Okay." He said, "Here they are doctors. One's a dentist and the other one's a doctor. They're brothers from New Jersey." He says, "Where do you live?" And I told him. He winds up coming to my house the next day, the one doctor. And he says, "Would you like to do a tape?" I said, "Yeah, I would." He said, "Do you know a band that you could get?" I said, "Oh, yeah." And he said, "Well, could you do a tape?" He says, "And let me hear what it would be like." Sure. So the next day I got a couple guys together. Did it at the house here. And next time I played at New Hope, next day, he came and said, "I'll play this tonight." He said, "I'll talk to you." I said, "Okay." And the next day he called me, "Yeah, let's do this." So we did. I called the guy down at the record place and, "Yeah, we'll make arrangements to make the tape." And we did. And that's how that went.
And so you have this record, and tell the story, I guess, about you have all these records, and there's something like you sold them with my
to
with
eat.
my dad.
Yeah, to eat. I didn't have no money that night. Well, your dad used to come with me when I had to move to another job to help me unload, load it up into the station wagon. And this night, that was another thing, man. He was on his motorcycle. Jesus, it was cold as hell. And he's like following me in the back of the muffler so he would get the heat from the muffler of my car. Jesus God. I said, "Can't you put that on the top of the car?" He said, "I can't do that." So he was freezing. I know he was. But we stopped at this place in 202 to eat. And I said, "Man, I only got like $4. He said, "I don't have no money." So prior to that, before we left to go, I didn't have no money. I only had $4. I said, "Don't worry about it. I said, I'll get some money." So I'd go up to people I knew in the where I was playing. I said, "Give me $5. And the guy would say, "Why?" I said, "Because you're going to own a record." "Oh, okay." Can't give me $5. I must have saw, I don't know, 6 or 7 of them. So we had money to buy steaks, and that's what we did. And he followed me all the way home.
Now, how many of those records do you think you sold? How many did you get made?
I'd say almost 5,000.
Really?
Yeah. Because I kept getting more made, after the guy bought the initial ones. I paid for the other ones that I got.
Wow. That's pretty good circulation at that time.
I would say, yeah. I would say.
So do you think you played a number of shows for, sort of like Norristown, Phoenixville, organized crime kind of syndicate stuff that you know of?
No, not per se. I played a lot of shows. One that was extremely proud of was Penn Del Mar Conference. It was Pennsylvania, Delaware, and Maryland musicians unions. They picked us as the group to play for their concert. I thought, yeah, because I got a call from the guy. Says, he said, "We've heard your group. Would you want to play for to play in front of all those musicians from those three states?" That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Was there were dynamite musicians there. I said, yeah. So me, Chuck, and the drummer was, who the hell was that? I think it was no. It was, I can't think of it. Tommy Wright from Pottstown. Good man. He just died about a month ago. Anyhow, we played that. And we were getting like standing ovations for all the stuff we were doing.
Wow. And this was originals or still covers?
Say that again?
This was originals, or you're still playing like standards and covers and stuff?
Some, we had some things worked up.
But the way you did them was unique. The way you combined
songs
and went from song to song and.
Oh yeah.
So
I had at that time I was doing a lot of Art Van Dam stuff,
Okay.
on the accordion.
So
that was good.
You think that? So one of the things that I really treasure is an overwhelming sense that when something is good or not.
Yes.
I constantly say, I think back to I used all the time. He couldn't swing with a rope tied to his ass.
Yeah, that's it. That's a good one.
Which is
That's
apropos for
Yeah.
a lot of drummers.
Yeah.
But what do you? How did that play out? Like, how did you sort of develop that, and where did you? You're very discerning.
Yeah. Well, I think it just came because of the way I could hear stuff. You know what I mean? And it either appealed to me or it didn't.
Yeah. And
if it was bad, it was doubly bad for me. You know what I mean? I just couldn't take it. Like today, to this now, if I hear what's his name, Jared King, Sunday.
Yeah.
He's on bass.
Right.
And he has a good ear. He can pick up stuff.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know music and he can't fake.
Right.
You know what I mean? He couldn't do anything with a rope tied to his ass either. And I said to him, and he's got good fingers for a guitar player. They're long and thin. And I said, Jared, that's good to copy stuff and be able to do that. I said, but to put that same song in front of you, even though, you don't know music that well, you wouldn't know what to do with it. Right. I said, you can't fake your way through anything. I said, until you learn music, that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
You're going down this road and ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Well, he's just like, doesn't have the ambition, I think, to do that. He's content with, I can play this, and he goes berserk with Beatles who might think suck. Also, yeah, big time. You know what I mean? I never did like them, and I thought they sucked as a unit too.
Huh? That's a big statement.
Yeah, well, I think it was 12, 13.
They have a sound.
Yeah.
They have a certain thing that's very appealing, but as individual musicians, I mean, I think the best, vocally they were very interesting. I think the bass lines are always very good.
Yeah.
But that's, it's.
The overall.
I had that too, though. I had that too. Reading music to this day is like math to me. and it makes me nuts. But I've just realized, and this is after a long time, that because I know how to type, so I don't have to look at the screen to type. And reading music is exactly the same thing. And that never occurred to me until Claudia started taking lessons. It's kind of strange that way. But so a couple of questions. And if you want to tell the other story that I wanted to hear, and I think we'll definitely do this again because I gotta cut it short here soon. And I want to do this with Danny because I think he's better at this than me.
Oh.
And he will maybe bring out some other things that he doesn't that I can't. But I wanted to hear the teeth story.
The what?
When you got your teeth taken out.
Oh, Jesus.
And what brings you to that? And then a couple of questions.
Well, the teeth thing, I had 16 teeth that had to come out to clear, for false ones. And the majority of my teeth had 75% fillings in them.
Now, why is this? Why did this happen? You didn't brush.
I had soft teeth.
Okay.
And I used to go to a dentist. Oh man, every Friday, because my teeth were so bad that I was getting cavities. I was scared to death of a freaking needle that they used to give me all the time. But anyhow, every Friday I have to go to the dentist. So it got like later on as I got married and all, I just thought to myself, enough of this dentist shit. So I went into this dentist and I said, is it possible to get these teeth out in the office and not in the hospital? He said, yeah. He says, if you can take it, or not the word he used, but if you're okay with it. I said, oh yeah. I said, rather than go in the hospital, I'd rather do it here. Okay. He said, I said, one thing. Yeah, he said, what's wrong? I said, is it okay if I would drink? He looked at me, he said, what do you mean? I said, well, I like to have a little comforter before I come here for that. He said, yeah. He said, that don't bother me. I said, okay. Well, there's a bar room right next to the dentist. It wasn't next to the dentist. It was next to the Val Rio Diner. Fountain Inn was the place. Never been in there, but I knew the guy that was the bartender. I go in, and I never drink whiskey because I get sick. So I go in and I said, I may have a double shot. He says, what do you want? I said, I don't care, any kind of whiskey. And a bottle of beer. Okay. I took the whiskey and took that. Oh, God, I hated that too. I wasn't aware of vodka and cranberry yet, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I drank the beer right after I chug-a-lugged it. I had 4 of them, 4 beers and 4 of those double shots.
Oh. And
I'm still standing. And I had to drive from there to the dentist. So and the guy's looking at me funny. He says, you have a problem? I said, yeah. I said, I have to get some teeth out. Oh, yeah, he says. So I said, I think I had enough. He said, I'd say so. So anyhow, I leave, get in the car, and I'm fine yet, It's not really hitting me. So I go to the dentist, pull up, go walk in, and the wife's there, and I say, says, he'll be with you in a minute. I said, tell him to take his time. I'm in no hurry. And so she's saying, I have a bulb up there. It has to be changed. Would you do that? Yeah. I said, you got a ladder? Yeah. Okay. Well, I climbed the ladder, changed the bulb, come down. I'm still fine. And meantime, he says, okay, Sam, we're ready. Okay. Comes with this big tray full of freaking needles, right? And he has it covered. I saw him lift the thing. I said, oh, Jesus. He said, I'm going to give you the one in the front. He says, that'll sort of number all around the area. and that's a bad needle to take. You know, you're very too front. So he did that. He said, "Well, wait a while now." Okay. And meantime, I'm starting to feel better, dizzy. And he says, "I think we're ready, Sam." I said, "Okay." Well, the first one he goes to take out brakes. So, guess they go in there and dig to take it out. You know what I mean? A couple more, they're really big.
You're awake through
Like,
this.
oh yeah. And I have all these teeth in a bag here in a drawer. And I was going to make like a necklace with them, you know, hang it on it. Anyhow, he took them all out, put the false teeth right in. He said, "Don't take these off to clean them." He says, "Because what's going to happen, your gums are going to swell up. You won't be able to get them on." I said, "Okay, well, your mouth's like, oh, it's terrible." So anyhow, forget that. I get back when I'm all done. He said, "You all right?" I said, "Yeah, oh yeah." Well, I'm starting to slur a little bit, you know what I mean? Because the booze is starting to take effect. I had a white shirt on. And I get in the car. I sit there for a few minutes. And I start to go. And I'm looking at the gas gauge. It's getting real low. So, oh, Christ, I could get. So I stopped at the gas station. Now, meantime, my mouth is all numb. I have no control of my mouth staying closed, you know what I mean? So, unbeknownst to me, the spit and saliva and blood is going all down my shirt. In front of me, like. So I go stop at the gas station. The guy comes up to the car. "Yeah, wait." And like before he finished, he looked at me. He says, "What happened to you?" So, like I said, my mouth is all numb. I go, "That's all right, what trouble?" He said, "You can't understand what I'm saying, like, you know." So he said, "What?" I pointed at my teeth. He said, "Oh," I said, "Whatever it is." He put the gas in. He said, "You sure you're all right?" "Yeah." I had to go to my mother's because I couldn't go no further than her on 724. I got to there and Mom saw me, but my blouse and my shirt was saturated with blood. And she said, "Oh, what the hell's the matter?" So she made me lay on the couch. I lay there for like, I don't know, 3-4 hours till I got, awake. But that was something. Yeah. But I never regretted that. That was the best thing I ever did.
Yeah?
No,
Just because
no dentist.
you got a bad lot of teeth there, yeah?
Yeah.
So just get
No dentist.
And
I had never had trouble with it. I was eating corn on the cob next day.
And this leads to you drinking excessively hot coffee and excessively hot soup because you don't have the top palate. It's a piece of plastic, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I love hot. My coffee cup goes off of 126 in the micro. Seconds, 126.
So, a couple of quick questions.
Go.
What is the thing that you're most proud of or your proudest moment?
Music-wise?
Anything.
Or quitting smoking?
Talk about that
was
a minute.
Oh, God. You know how we always had things at Christmas time, Christmas Eve?
Yeah.
Everybody together and we stay up all night,
Yep.
go to Mass, come back and eat again. Well, this one particular Christmas was 2000, and I'm starting to have trouble breathing. I'm like taking breaths, and I'm not getting air, you know. I thought, oh, Jesus. Well, I thought that night I was going to catch the chips in, because I was really feeling real bad. And because it was so bad, I had tried to stop smoking for 100 times, you know. I'd go maybe a couple hours. I never went a full day, ever. But hours was all I could manage. And I'd go right back to it. I even had the thing put in my earlobe. Doctor who retired was doing these, putting the staple in your ear, supposed to stop. And we went to this place, and he says, light up and keep smoking. Well, that room was like, you couldn't see the person next to you. There was so much smoke. Meantime, I had 3 packs of cigarettes in the car, just in case. That was when I'd leave. Well, he was all done. I had the staple in my ear. And he says, try to stay away from. He says, you'll anytime you get a feeling you want to smoke, just pull on your ear lobe. Let me tell you how much that does. Yeah. I get in the car. As soon as I got in the car, I tore the top of the cigarette thing off and lit up, and I was safe to go. That didn't work. But the fact that I couldn't breathe anymore, that's what did it.
Yeah, and you just quit cold turkey?
Yep. And I went through at least 6 months of stomach pains, palpitations, sweats, heart beating, fast, slow, real bad. And just started to ease after 6 months. But I didn't, one time, like the third day maybe, I took a puff, lit up a cigarette. Oh man, that tasted terrible.
Yeah.
That was it. I was done.
Yeah, it's a weird
I still got 5 packs of cigarettes unopened in my drawer.
They're probably stale, even though they're in foil.
Oh
right?
God, that would drop you right there. Salem 100, yeah.
Do you remember when you started smoking?
Yeah, I was about 12.
And just
My dad used to have a cigarette, a file, a big file. I'm talking a real file, metal file.
Yeah.
On the thing underneath where the roll of paper was that you would tear and wrap your meat up in. He used to have this where he laid the cigarette on the file. So when he would go into the cooler, I'd go up there and take a cigarette, take 3 or 4 puffs, and put it back down on the file.
Huh.
That's how I started. Then we sold cigarettes in the store. I used to take a pack or 2, take it to school with me. That's how it all started. And one time I was going up the step. We had 3 steps in the store, and I was going up, and he was in back of me. When my foot went up on the step, the pack of cigarettes fell out of my pocket. He was in back of me. I felt this big smack in my head, back of my head. He said, "Whose are these?" I said, "What, Dad?" He said, "The cigarettes." He said, "Oh, and he smacked me again.
Yeah, he knew
That
it was
was
a
it.
bad idea, huh? He just
Yes, he did.
It's brutal. So, remind me again, what year were you born?
31.
1931. Okay, so what's something that you just can't believe is real? Like you could have never imagined, and now it's. Because the advancement of, you've always been a technology person, and you always appreciated that kind of stuff. But I mean,
It's hard to say. No.
did anything just hit you like, you know? I mean, I remember I remember when you first got a remote control for the TV and would fuck with me on that. Like you're one of the, you know. It's just, and that's a pretty.
I think the Cordovox sort of floored me when I first saw one. That was, great as far as I was concerned. I had to get one the next day.
You mean the laid down
Sounds like-
version, where it's split in half?
No. That was me. I did that.
You did that.
Yeah.
So it was a
And
regular accordion before that.
It was, yeah. Well, you've seen a Cordovox.
I've seen
It's
your
just like-
setup. I don't know what a Cordovox.
Well, Cordovox is like an accordion.
Okay.
Looks like and has the organ
With the baffles
sound
and all
in
that.
it. No,
With the baffle things that you go back and forth, that type of thing.
Oh, bellows.
Yeah, bellows.
Yeah, it has that. Yeah, of course you have the reeds in it also, and to me that was a. And I first started using that down at the Bull Tavern in Phoenixville.
And what made you
That
realize
was
you could just cut it in half and lay it flat and build that box?
that was my. I thought about it for a while, and I thought to myself, I could do that. It was being pretty handy and all. And I thought about it. So what I would do is take the accordion part of the quarter box home every night that I would play. Take it apart, work on it, what I was going to do, build a frame, and made sure it was level so I could play it. And I guess in about 3 weeks, I had one finished. After that, Cynthioli's, right?
Yeah.
He had a brother-in-law that I went down one day to get it. I had trouble with this quarter box, and it was the one I did. He saw that. He said, "You build me one of them?" Yeah. How much? I thought to myself, let me see. Okay, it'd be like $800. He didn't flinch. But see, what he wanted to do was get it and like have somebody build it. You know what I mean? Make money out of it.
Right.
And I'm sure he did that. But he didn't want to. He didn't want. Then another guy came in. I built like five of them.
For other people.
Not for him. Yeah.
And you have just one, or you have two?
I just got one. I kept one. I even built one that you could play the accordion part because I had blower inside it.
Oh, okay.
Press on the pedal, it would let a lot of air, or if you pressed it a little bit, it wouldn't be loud. I sold that one. I was going to keep it. I said, I just added another $400.
So even with all that, the technology of keyboards today is you just think a natural progression. That doesn't amaze you. Like
No.
Because have you seen the electronic Leslie and all that kind of stuff? You can simulate all that shit now instead of carrying a giant box around.
Oh yeah, that's terrific. Yeah.
What do you think is the most important thing you ever learned? Whether it's a life lesson or a skill or whatever.
I think being a musician, you should always be sure of what you do, and not fake your way through it. If you have the talent, it does help you. You know what I mean? Don't be shy about the talent you got, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Use it.
Yeah. What's your favorite movie, song, or book, and why?
Movie?
Movie, song, book, favorite work.
That could be a lot. One of my favorite movies when I was younger was Pinocchio, believe it or not.
What about
And,
that?
I guess it was just a fantasy of it all, You sort of like put yourself in that situation, how it went. The kid that got involved and, shit he shouldn't have. I think there was a lot of lessons to be learned there,
Mm-hmm.
for kids.
If you could do anything or change anything about your life up to now, what would it be?
Probably not smoke.
Yeah.
Because that, like now I suffer with that. You know, like when it's cold, I can't breathe.
Yeah.
Even when it's hot, I can't breathe. One of the big things you were asking me was um, when they discovered I had bladder cancer.
Uh-huh.
That scared the shit out of me because he told me like if I'm going to get the tumor out, he said, but if I go too deep and go through the wall of the bladder, that means you're going to have a bag. I said, oh Christ. So I was worried about that, you know.
Yeah.
But thank God he did a good, beautiful job. That was a biggie. Just like your dad's going through with his shit too, you know.
Yeah.
He's still having trouble.
Well, I think we got some good stuff. I want to digest it a little bit more, think about it a little bit more, and go over it with Danny and see what we would do. Because I mean, I think I wanted to get one out of the way because you know I think you might get a little bit more. Well, just give it some thought because we're going to do it again and think about some stories you want to tell because you got so many good ones, and you know maybe the questions I'm asking aren't pulling them or whatever. And,
Yeah.
And
I have a beauty for you. For up at New Hope, I'm widely known as Rocky.
oh, go for it. Go ahead.
One day, I was playing at this Polynesian place where one side of the restaurant is open to the canal. Beautiful scenery at night, like lights and stuff. This Polynesian food. There was one bartender that was there that had heart trouble. And this one guy used to come in, he got a job there, younger guy, maybe 50. A real hot shot, like he liked Frank Sinatra, and he always come up to me and do this, do that. He seemed to be like a nice guy, but he was a wise ass, you know. And we were sitting at the bar one night. I was on break, and he was saying, "See that son of a bitch over there?" He's talking about this bartender. He says, "I got a nephew. He's going to come in here and kick the shit out of him." I said, "What?" I said, "That poor son of a bitch has heart trouble. You're going to have him, this young kid, come in and beat his ass?" I said, "I don't think that's smart at all." He said, "I don't like this son of a bitch." Now, I know him and his nephew were like a mob type guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought, you son of a bitch. Well, that's not my problem. So we played there like 4 nights a week. This one night, we were all getting done. People were out, and I always took my accordion home with me. I never left that there, left the amps there. So I packed the accordion, walking across the dance floor. After you get across the dance floor, there's 3 steps to get up to where you got to go out. I was going up the 3 steps. In the meantime, his nephew, 23-year-old nephew, and his wife decide to leave. But he's comes running down the hallway after this bartender, right? And he runs into me, and my accordion case goes flying across the dance floor. I said, "Hey, you son of a bitch." I says, "If you busted that, you own it." So I went right after him, and I grabbed him, and there's like a stone wall in the place. Stone. I mean, I'm talking about all stone. Grabbed him by his back of his coat and slammed it right into the wall. I said, "Let me tell you something. You did something to my accordion, you're buying it." So he, meantime, sort of turns around trying to hit me. Like I got him in his back.
Yeah.
His wife comes over because she's upset that I'm doing this to her husband because I'm banging his face into the cement wall. And she comes over to grab me. He's trying to smack me. He swings, to hit me. He hits his wife right in the mouth. Knocks her down. In the meantime, I grabbed him, threw him down steps. They were like, I don't know, 15 steps, stone steps. And he laid down on the bottom of the steps there. In the meantime, the owner had called the cops. The cops came in. And he said, "Who did this?" I said, "I think I did." And the owner says, "This guy saved me and my wife." And they were like 80 or something like that. The owners.
Mm-hmm.
He says that, and this guy comes running there trying to fight with the bartender. And the cop said, "You did that?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I think so." He said, "I think you better leave." He told me to go. And now I'm thinking, this guy's like in the mafia type thing. Am I going to have a problem tomorrow night?
Yeah.
Never did. It never happened. But that scared the shit out of me. But he never came back, that guy. I think I scared the shit out of him. But everybody knows it. You mention, "Oh yeah, Sammy Dee? Yeah. I was like Rocky famous." So that's a legend, a living legend.
That's good, man. That's actually one of the questions I was going to ask you if you're ever in a fight.
That was it. Got to protect the hands.
Yeah, I guess so, huh? Oh, man.
That's why I never played football.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, I didn't play because of baseball. I didn't want to get hurt.
Yeah.
Something stupid. Well, this is awesome. I'm glad we did this. It was a good test run. I think there's some good stuff in there. Doing this is weird because I don't, a lot of the podcasts that I listen to, there is a lot of stuff, like I'd like to hear your side of the stories that I remember too, about like the Rubik's Cube and playing catch and all that stuff. But I don't know if that's interesting to other people necessarily out of the gate. How
about the one where you walk into the sign?
Oh, Jesus.
In Royal Story.
It must have been weird. I mean, you had all girls, and then I show up on the scene. I mean, I feel like I would have been. It's a weird spot, and I really thank you for doing that, because it was. Those are all amazing memories for me, and
oh yeah,
playing catch and just. I feel very lucky to have had, very fortunate to have had that. Yeah. That growing up experience,
Absolutely.
And I don't remember anymore if it was just summers or if it was kind of all the time or what. I assume I would have been in school most of the time, so most of the stuff was like the pool and swimming and all that shit. I guess they just dropped me off because they didn't have sitters and they're both working and all that stuff. So
yeah, I think we were both lucky.
Yeah.
How many people have that opportunity?
Yeah, and you were young, relatively. You think you were my age, that I am now.
Yeah,
right.
Could be.
So like 40, early 40s.
Yeah.
That's insane. But
yeah,
it's good. So I got to get back to work, but I wanted to thank you for doing this, and we kind of know how to do it now. So I want to get one with Danny, and it'll be less of me talking, I think, and not that I talk that much, but I kind of want to have you interviewed by an interviewer.
Okay.
And I'll probably seed him with some questions.
Yeah.
So, you feel okay with it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, sir. Well, I love you very much, and I thank you for doing this. And
no problem.
Maybe you need to get yourself an iPad.
Yeah, I'd love to have one of these. Yeah, damn. Yep.
It was a revolution, man. My mom was so upset for so long about not being able to see the kids. And
yeah. That's beautiful. This computer like I have, it sucks. It takes like 5 minutes for me to get, something on there. Anyhow.
All right, sir. Well, I love you, Papa. Tell Mama I said
Yep,
hey.
love you too.
And,
Hey,
You ain't never gonna win.
so long.
Bye bye, hon.
Use your mentality.
Nice to see you again. I was hoping I
Up to
could see
reality.
you little ones too, and Mom,
But each
they're at
time
school.
I do, just the
Yeah.
thought of you
you're at work.
makes me stop.
Oh, he will be.
I'm going back. I'm going back to work.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, I've got you.
Okay,
be good.
good to see. Yeah, you too.
Have a good day. I'm glad we did this.
What should I do? Push end here then?
And we'll end it.
You were the stars
Yes.
in your eyes.
That's what I should do.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
All right. I love you, Pop.
Love you too.
All right.
Bye
See you,
bye.
sir.
You
Bye.
used to be too wise. I said, now, hey there. You on that high-flying cloud. Though she won't throw a crumb to you, you think someday she'll come to you. Baby, better forget her. Her with her nose in the air. She has you dancing on a string. Break it and she won't care. Won't you take this advice that I hand you like a brother? Or are you not seeing things too clear? Are you too much in love to hear? Is it all going in